Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? Me, I'm doing good. I appreciate y'all for joining me for this episode. I'm checking something, just trying to make sure I can actually do something right quick. But welcome to A Happier You Leads to a Healthier You and a happier new recovery coaching channel. I appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, of course, Goddess Asha Mary. I'm going to thank you guys for joining me for this episode. If you guys like the commentary and you want to hear more, please go to Spreaker.com/. A happier you leads to a healthier you. If you guys like the commentary on my health and wellness channel on YouTube, then by all means, you guys can go to a happier and healthier recovery and healing channel, and you can like and subscribe there. A little bit about me: I'm a certified recovery, healing, and recovery coach. It's all about helping people in their paths and their journeys to a new and better you. Unfortunately, I'm having issues with my actual I'm having issues some reason with the visuals, so that's why you're gonna have to forgive me if you can't see me because of that. But today I want to talk about how my food allergies led me to not only weight loss but also being internally healthy, and how one allergy forever changed my life. But my podcast is also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google. It's also on Amazon. It's also on Cashbox. It's also on iHeartRadio and multiple other streaming companies. This podcast is all about healing and recovery when it comes to your health and wellness. So, I- I've been eating seafood for years, literally 4 years. When I tell y'all seafood used to be my thing, seafood was my thing. It was something I ate religiously. When I tell you I used to eat seafood religiously, I used to eat seafood all the time. I ate seafood all the way up to 30. And I remember one particular year, it had to be me and my ex started dating when I was 33 years old. And it had been like 35 when this happened because I worked there for 8 years. So it was like the sixth or seventh year that I worked for them when this happened. I was transferred from the bowling alley because I was a shift manager for the bowling alley, and they were remodeling our facility. And when they were remodeling our facility, we had to go to a different facility. So they sent me to the bowling alley, and I was a shift manager at the bowling alley. Well, what ended up happening was I ended up in a situation where I ended up having to go, and I had to work there, and I had to work in the kitchen. So I was doing bingo cards and then also working in the kitchen as well. Well, one day I ate some seafood. Every other time I ate there, I had no issues. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I ended up having a reaction. Face broke out, throat started swelling, had to end up going to the emergency room. After that happened, it didn't happen again for some years. But I still would have to take Benadryl because, when it did happen, I had to take, Benadryl. Well, 40, it just got worse. So it went from that to one day it happened again because I was eating sushi. I was eating all kind of, shellfish and stuff, fish. Didn't have no issue. Well, and and I think it was like I was 42 when I completely couldn't eat it no more. And then one day I got stung by a bee, and I got ended up going to the emergency room. So I can't eat shellfish at all. I can't smell it, can't be around it. And it happened to me last night where at a restaurant they served seafood, but I forgot that most restaurants cook their chicken and their seafood and their fries and beef and everything in the same grill. Well, I can't. That's called cross contamination. When you cook everything in the same thing, yeah. So when I ate the fry, just one fry, I had a reaction. Broke out, my side of my throat started swelling. Luckily, I'm okay now. But I cannot no longer eat there because of the fact they sell seafood. Well, the disadvantage for me is that majority of restaurants, including Chinese restaurants, basically sell seafood. So I can't eat a lot of places. Can't even be in a room where I can even smell it. That's how bad it is for me now. And I ate seafood for over 30 years. One of my friends, she found out, her sister found out that she was allergic to obey. So that's why the whole entire time she couldn't eat seafood and crab fish and stuff like that. Now she can eat. I gotta go to an allergy doctor to find out what exactly it is that I'm allergic to, because the fact of the matter that this is affecting me, because now there are a lot of foods I can't eat. So let me explain. I used to be able to eat chocolate, can't eat chocolate no more. I used to be able to eat Oreos, bioengineered. I used to be able to eat a lot of foods. Now I can't. I have allergies that I can't even explain how I ended up with these allergies in the first place. So a lot of things that I used to eat, including bell peppers, I can't eat no more. They give me an allergy. Coconuts give me an allergy. Never had a reaction to coconuts before in my life, and yet I have allergies. Well, then I started doing my research, y'all, as I always do, and I found some very interesting things that we're going to be discussing today. And I'm going to use the Walmart. I'm going to use, of course, y'all know I'm going to use Walmart as my reference. So it might be a copyright because I'm using Walmart. So we're going to use Walmart as a reference here of what I am getting ready to show you, because I feel like these are things that need to be discussed. Now, I could not understand why all of a sudden I had reactions to so many different foods that I just couldn't even explain. Stuff I've never had allergies for, as far as any issues with at all. Now all of a sudden I do. Well, I'm going to show you why I have issues with the foods I have issues with. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show y'all Walmart. I'm going to show y'all Walmart and I'm going to show you why I'm having allergies and why some of y'all are having allergies. I'm also going to explain to you why a lot of y'all are getting sick and why a lot of you are getting cancer. And when I show you what I'm going to show you, you're going to be shocked, because I was shocked when I found out. Okay? Now make sure y'all can see my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Here's Wally World, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger where you can't see me. Okay? This is Walmart. Okay? Now I'm going to pull up some things, and then I'm going to pull up Google, because I'm going to show you something else. Okay? So now, the first thing I'm going to go into when I go to Walmart, we're going to go into deli. We're going to go into diced tomatoes. Okay. Now, you would think, okay, diced tomatoes, nothing wrong with diced tomatoes. Diced tomatoes shouldn't even have nothing like that. Shouldn't even be remotely an issue. Okay. Now, I'm going to click on this diced tomato here. Okay. And the reason I'm going to click on this, and for those of y'all who are going to be listening to this, you're not going to be able to see it unless you go to the channel to see what I'm looking at. But if you have a diced tomato can, please go get it, because I'm going to show you. Go to Walmart. As you can see here, this gives you the full details of this particular thing. On the side of this, it has everything. The calories, so it has 180 milligrams of sodium, no sugar, and 4% of fiber. But if you go here, let me show you what on here it's going to be a problem for you. Give me a second. Hey, y'all. Now, let me show y'all what's going to be a problem. Okay. Now, it says tomatoes, tomato juice, sea salt, calcium chloride. Calcium chloride. I want you to remember that. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you based on Google why this is bad. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to pull up calcium chloride. So I'm going to pull up calcium chloride. And you're going to find out why this is actually bad. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Calcium chloride. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And I'm going to, no, I don't want to leave the studio. I'm trying to stop sharing my screen. I have a new computer. I'm still learning how to use it. Okay. We're going to go to calcium chloride. And a lot of y'all don't even know what calcium chloride is. I'm going to help you out. Calcium chloride is a versatile inorganic compound widely used for dicing, dust control, and as a food additive. Now, if you go down and we do read more, this tells you all, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. I didn't mean to do it, but I'll keep that up. Okay, now as you can see here, if you look at chemicals, this is the formula for it, and it is a white crystallized solid that is highly soluble in water and hygroscopic, meaning it can absorb in moisture from the air. Calcium chloride can exist in various hydrant forms. Now, the production, calcium chloride is typically produced by neutralizing hydrochloric acid with hydrogen dioxide or calcium carbonates. It can also be obtained as byproducts of Soviet process used for sodium carbonate production. Now, if you go here, how do you use it? It is used as a de-icing agent. So this is what's used basically essentially to melt ice on the road. This is what's in your diced tomatoes. So they use it to melt snow and ice on the roads and highways due to the ability to lower the freezing point of water. So that's the first thing they use it for. They use it for dust control, to suppress dust on unpaved roads by keeping a liquid layer on the surface, which helps to bind dust particles together. Food industry serves as a firming agent in canned vegetables, tofu production, and as a flavor enhancer in pickles, soft drinks. It maintains the texture of fruits and vegetables during processing and desiccating due to hygroscopic nature. Calcium chloride is used for dyeing agents and various applications, including dissectors and for dehydrating organic liquids and gases. Construction. They use it as an accurate in setting time for concrete and improves the strength of concrete mixes. This is what is in your system. This is one of the things that is in your stuff, and it is in diced tomatoes. Diced tomatoes. So this is what is in your diced tomatoes. Now let's go down even further. While calcium chloride is genuinely safe for the use of many applications, it can cause irritation to the skin and eyes Ingesting large amounts can lead to health issues such as burns in the mouth and throat, vomiting, and low blood pressure. Proper handling and safety measures should observe when to use calcium chloride in any form. In summary, calcium chloride is highly useful in combining with wide range of applications across various industries. The ISA, so like I said, so for those of y'all that are using diced tomatoes or anything with calcium chloride, you now know what this is. So even in Wikipedia, it goes even further when it comes down to this. So it's pretty much a salt. So this is what they're using, and that is what it looks like. This is what they're using in order to keep anything that is diced, whether it be diced tomatoes, whatever. If you see that, you don't want to buy it. So when I started having allergies to things that I couldn't understand why I was having these allergies, and when I went to the doctor's office and I asked them, can I get a food allergy test? They said they don't do one. They can only do it through your blood. So it's not the fact that some of y'all have food allergies because of the food itself. Nope, it's the chemicals that's in the food. So when I started looking into that, and I started looking into the food that I was eating and the chemicals that was in the food, like calcium chloride, when I found out what they use calcium chloride for, I am no longer buying diced tomatoes no more. I'll just buy regular tomatoes and I will just go from there. So understand that when you use calcium chloride and when you are getting diced tomatoes or anything that has calcium chloride, just understand it's also used as a de-icing agent, dust control, and also construction. And you see it right here. And this is what they're putting in our foods. So it's not that you're having allergic reactions to the food itself. You're having a reaction to how they are producing food, how they are trying to make food last longer with chemicals we're not even supposed to be ingesting in the first place. And for me to see, as far as safety information, saying that if you ingest too much of it, it can cause burns in the mouth and throat, vomiting, and low blood pressure. Absolutely not. So that is why I will not be using any type of diced tomatoes. I'm not buying them at this point. Because if that's what's in it, I'm not messing with it. So let me stop sharing my screen because we will be going back to that because you're going to see me going back and forth. So let me go ahead and go back and we're going to go into a few other things that we're going to be talking about. So let's go back to Walmart and we're going to look at some more ingredients and some more definitions of these ingredients and how these ingredients are why you're having allergies. So let me go back to the wonderful world that is Walmart. So let's go back to Walmart. So here's Walmart. So now y'all know that calcium chloride is not good for you. Now let's look up deli meat for a second. And I'm talking about, processed deli meat, not regular deli meat. I'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to look at deli meat. There's a particular word that I am looking for in the deli meat that we're going to look up. And matter of fact, I have it all the way up. So we're going to look at this one here. So when you before you go to the grocery store, I want you to look at the ingredients. So if you go down and you go to where it says view all, and you keep going through. Okay. So if you look here, this tells you everything that is in your food. So let's look up potassium chloride. We're not even supposed to be eating chloride, but let's talk about potassium chloride for a second. Let's look it up and see what it means. Potassium chloride. Potassium chloride. Pot- Hold on a second. Potassium chloride. Potassium. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Here it is. Potassium chloride. So now I'm going to share my screen yet again. So again, we're going to look up potassium chloride to see if potassium chloride is good for you. So let me stop sharing my screen. And let me go here. And let me go back to potassium chloride. And we're going to find out whether or not potassium chloride is good for you. So we're going to go to potassium chloride. And we're going to talk about whether or not potassium chloride is good for you. Potassium chloride is a colorless it is a colorless, odorless salt that is commonly used to treat lower levels of potassium in the body. It has several benefits, including helping lower blood pressure, reducing the risk of heart disease, and serves as a sodium substitute in foods products to lower overall sodium intake. Potassium chloride is used in various applications such as fertilizers and food additives. So you mean to tell me they use potassium chloride in fertilizer? Let's go down some more. Now, this also tells you about everything else as far as, KFC, different people, different companies, and stuff like that. Now, let's look at the side effects of it all. So when you look at these, look at the side effects. So you're going to think, oh, it is good for you. Is it? Is it good for you? We about to find out. Side effects of potassium chloride: nausea, vomiting, flatulence, abnormal abdomen discomfort, and diarrhea. So it's the irritation of the gastro type. The gastro tract. I'm so trying to talk today. Gastro tract. So basically, essentially, potassium chloride side effects is nausea, vomiting, flatulence, abdomen discomfort, and diarrhea. So, are you supposed to be eating this knowing that it does all of this? No. So, being that potassium chloride, the side effects for the oral potassium salt is nausea, vomiting, flatulence, abdomen discomfort, and diarrhea. And it is due to the irritation of the gastrointestinal tract. My bad. Y'all, it's late. It's late. But that's what it does. It irritates your intestines, which in terms is why you have colon cancer, which in terms is why you have a bunch of digestive issues, which in terms is why your insulin is high, which in terms is why you have visceral fat. But hey, here we are. Here we are. So again, let's see what it is used for. So let's go back and talk about what it is used for. What is potassium chloride used for? What else is it used for besides food? So let's see what they use it for. So potassium chloride is particularly used for oxidizing safety matches of fireworks. So they use it for fireworks. Interesting. It's very, very, very interesting to me that we don't know this stuff. But let's see what this is used for. So it treats hypoleukemia. which is cool. Electro balance. So this pretty much tells you what it's used for. So don't get me wrong, you know, it's used for a few things, but it's also used for fertilizer. So if you're somebody that's having digestive issues, this might be why. So if you're someone that's having a lot of digestive issues, that's because of potassium chloride. That's why. But if you want to look at the side effects yet again, just to make sure, I just want to make sure that even in dogs, so it basically causes gastrointestinal issues and stomach pain. And yet this is in a lot of our foods. So let me stop sharing, of course. And we're gonna go right down, we're gonna go right on back to, of course, Walmart. I love Walmart. I like to use Walmart as my reference. So this is what you should be looking at if you have allergies. Now we also need to look at sodium phosphate. So when you're looking at this is the most important thing out of everything that you look at when it comes to what you buy from the grocery store is the ingredients. It is not about this right here. Not saying that this is not important, because it is. The nutrients factor is important. But what's most important that you should be looking at is the ingredients. If there are other ingredients in this, then you shouldn't buy it. Now, why else shouldn't you buy this? Well, you see modified cornstarch. Modified cornstarch is genetically modified. Not supposed to eat it. Okay? Just want to let y'all see that. Okay? So if it's genetically modified and it says modified cornstarch, anything that is modified, you don't need to eat it. You don't need to touch it. You need to leave it alone, because that is also going to make you sick. So that's another thing you need to look at when it comes down to when you are trying to pick whatever foods that you eat. So you need to understand that when it comes to this, you need to make sure that you are looking at this, because I'm here to tell you that if you are not careful, you will end up completely and utterly screwed. So the reason why so many people are having issues with seafood is because of the fact of the chemicals that are in your food. Now let's go back and look at another one. So now we're going to go down. Oh, I forgot. Let me go down. Now we're going to go down. Which one did we look at? No, I want to look at that one. So now I'm trying to find another one that I can pick that has nothing to do with. So now we're going to look at Oscar Mayer. Okay, we're going to look at Oscar Mayer. So now we have our Oscar Mayer. And so now we have, Oscar Mayer here. And we're going to look at what ingredients are in Oscar Mayer. That's what we're going to look at. So now we're going to look at, right now, this is what you're told to look at. It has 80 calories. And fat calories is 70. Total fats 11%. Saturated fat 13%. No trans fat. Cholesterol is 7%. Sodium is 250 milligrams. And protein is 3 grams. But what we're going to be looking at is the ingredients. This right here. This is what we're going to be looking at. It says mechanical separated chicken, pork, water, corn syrup. Why is corn syrup in bologna? You got potassium chloride. We already talked about the issue with potassium chloride, sodium phosphate, sodium diurate. That's a lot of sodium. Sodium propionate, beef, sodium bosnate, flavored sodium, sodium nitrate. That's a lot. Okay? That's a lot of stuff that shouldn't even be in this, but yet it is. And the reason why, to make food last longer. Some of this stuff is actually causing your food allergies, believe it or not. So, being the fact that this stuff, other additives that are in your food, are causing your allergies as far as food allergies. Because if you go to a doctor, the allergies that they do are basically essentially the outdoor stuff like that: dust, roaches, bugs, those type of allergies based on blood. But if you ask for a food allergy, they can't really do one because they'll tell you, oh, we got to draw blood, but they don't really do a food allergy. So I found out that your allergies, unless you're born with them, did not come from you being allergic because of the food itself. It's because of these ingredients that are in your food. So let's go to Oreo cookies. So you will understand why I don't buy Oreo cookies no more. And I love me some Oreo cookies. I do. I love Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies used to be my thing. They used to be my favorite thing to eat until I saw this. Matter of fact, I got a ice cream over there. But let me explain why I don't buy Oreos anymore. So let me go down and I'm going to show you why I do not buy them no more. Now, let's see here. I'm going to have to go down because apparently, let me see what else they got. Do they have the ingredients right here? So what I'm doing now is going through the actual ingredients. Okay, here we go. Now, being you can't really see the ingredients here, I want you to look at this. Unbleached enriched flour, which is wheat, niacin, reduced iron, so there's no iron in these cookies, thiamine, monoate vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, folic acid, sugar, palm oil, soybean or canola oil, cocoa processed with alkaline, high fructose corn syrup, leaving baking soda or calcium phosphate. We already talked about that. Salt, soy legion, chocolate, artificial flavors. What else do you see that's going to make you sick? Bioengineered ingredients. If it says bioengineered ingredients, you don't need to buy it because that is why you're having allergies. You're having food allergies because the stuff that's in your food you're not supposed to be eating at all. So here we go. So being the fact that you see bioengineered, you can't eat it. That's why when I look at Oreo cookies, Chips Ahoy, I even saw it in egg rolls. I've seen it in frozen foods. There are a lot of products that are bioengineered. And if it is, you ain't supposed to eat it. That is why people are getting cancer. That is why people are getting liver disease, kidney disease, because of bioengineered foods. Okay? I want to let y'all see this. It took me having food, it took me being allergic to seafood, something that I had been eating for years, and then all of a sudden being allergic to green peppers, coconut water, stuff I've been drinking for years, and all of a sudden now I have a reaction to it. Now I can't eat it. Now I know why. So it's not your cookies, it's not even your products, it's this stuff here. Bioengineered food ingredients. So let me show you something that has moderated food and stuff. So let's go to Chips Ahoy. Yeah, some of your favorite products. Some of these companies gonna be so mad at me because I'm actually putting this out here. All right, let's go to Chips Ahoy, shall we? If I can go down. All right, let's go to that is Chips Ahoy. Mine and your favorite cookies. Let's get into it. All right, so if we go down, of course, like I always do, if you want to go down and you really want to see the ingredients, just press View More, and then it will tell you the full item details. And here you go. So you can look here, and this will make it so much easier for you. Go down to ingredients, and then as you can see here, you will see high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, but also this is also bioengineered. I'm going to show you where you see that at. See, you're not going to see bioengineered here, but I'm going to tell you where you are going to see it. Go back up. If you go and put View All, and you go all the way down to here, this is, oh, sorry. This is where you'll see it. So if you look at the ingredients, you're not going to see bioengineered. But if you look on the back of the actual stuff, the back of the box, back of the lid, you will see this. So what is bioengineered? That is something we have to figure out. So because you don't look at the back of the box, and because you're not looking at the fact of your health and wellness, so you're not sick because of the food. You are sick because of the way they're manufacturing the food that you're actually eating and the chemicals they're putting when it comes to manufacturing. See that part? Then you have ammonia phosphate. So yeah, that's Chips Ahoy. So I can't eat Oreo cookies, nor can I eat Chips Ahoy. So let me go back because I'm gonna look at a Walmart brand. There's something else I want to show y'all for those of y'all that have allergies that you were born with. So let me go back and let me go down to, let me find one. Keep going. Let's find a brand that there's something I want to show y'all. So let me go back to cookies, of course. So let's go back to cookies. C is for cookies. That's good enough for me. C is for cookies. That's good enough for me. C is for cookies. That's good enough for me. Oh, cookie starts with C. Just want to make sure y'all still with me. All right, let's go to, let's look at these. These are Biscoff cookies. Okay. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna look at the ingredients. Now it says now this one says non-GMO ingredients, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, no added colors. Right? Now you're gonna look at that and say, "Yay! Ain't none of that going on." So you're gonna pull it up, and this says wheat flour, sugar, vegetable oil may contain one or more soybean oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, palm oil, brown sugar, sodium phosphate, soy flour, salt, and cinnamon. What in this is going to be bad? Sodium phosphate. No, sodium bicarbonate. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. So yeah. So even though this says no artificial flavors, none of that, but you still got sunflower oil, sunbeam oil, canola oil, palm oil. You also got sodium bicarbonate. That ain't good for you either. So even though no, you don't have the artificial flavors, that does not mean that there's not other stuff in here that's not gonna make you sick. But see, they're not telling you that. Not at all. So let's go back to some more cookies. Oh, cookie starts with C. Go down. So we're going to go down a little bit further. And we're going to look at, of course, Walmart. Hey, Walmart. We're going to look at the Walmart brand of cookies. Okay. Now we're going to look at the Walmart brand of cookies. Now, these are peanut butter, but ain't the ones I'm looking for. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at a different brand for those of y'all who have peanut allergies. And we're going to go down and we're going to look at something that has nothing to do with anything that is peanuts, because there is something I would like to show you that you need to look for those of you that have peanut allergies. So we're going to go down. If it lets me go down, that is. Okay. Here's some right here. We're going to look at these. Okay. Now, these are Walmart brand cookies. Okay. And as I told y'all, there's two ways that you can look at it. So we're going to look here first. And you're going to look at both. So let me go down a little bit so you can see the ingredients. Now, this one has disaccharide. I don't know how to pronounce that. All these words that I can't pronounce. Okay. All these different stuff. And you're going to see what they mean because I have something on another screen that I'm going to show y'all that is going to tell y'all why these words are not good for you and the side effects of each one of them. Now, besides the words that you can't pronounce, you have fructose in these. You also have ascorbic acid, citric acid. Not saying that citric acid is bad, but you do have flax seeds, pea protein, rice flour. So they seem good for the most part, but may contain eggs, milk, soy, wheat. Then it also says may contain traces of peanuts, tree nuts, and sesame. Let me explain why this is important. Because it's not that the nuts or peanuts or sesame or shellfish or any of that, gluten or any of that, is in the ingredients itself. But the manufacturing company produces products that have this stuff and they are used. So they don't separate the stuff that should be non-allergenic with the products that actually have the stuff that people are allergic to. So when you are looking at your ingredients, I need you to understand that just because in the ingredients it does not say on Walmart that this is on here, look on Walmart before you go to the grocery store. You're going to see it online. So before you go to the grocery store, make sure you look online to see whether or not it has traces of peanuts, sesame, soy, whether it's shellfish, gluten. This is important. So when you are looking at this, it's important that you understand that's what you need to look at. So again, just like right here, this is the actual thing. You see that it has cellulose gum, and there are other things that are not on this side, that's on this side. So whatever you don't see here in the ingredients section, look on the actual back of or the back of the box or whatever, and it'll show you everything that you're not being looked at. And it also says contain bioengineered product ingredients. That's not over here. So again, pull both of them up. If you got to get your little thing and you got to pull this up to make this bigger, then this is what you need to do. But it does have turmeric, which is good. So it does have some very, very good ingredients in here. But the good ingredients do not outdo the bad ingredients, meaning the chemicals. So even though this product does have, as far as ingredients wise, very good products without the chemicals, without the manufacturing chemicals, this would be a very good product if it didn't have all of the chemicals from the manufacturer and it didn't have bioengineering ingredients, aka all the stuff that's going to keep your stuff from lasting longer. So this is where your allergies are coming from. They're coming from that. They're coming from all these little words right here that I'm showing you. So that's what you're going to look for when you go to the grocery store. So if you see something that says modified cornstarch, I'm trying to find something that may have that. So at let's look at some egg rolls. So let's look in the frozen food section. So we're gonna go here for a second because I'm gonna show you some stuff that's gonna shock you here. So if you go to the frozen food section, and you're gonna see some ingredients that are gonna shock you. Okay, so I'm gonna use these pork egg rolls here. Is for those of y'all, this is Thai peel, PEI, and these are pork egg rolls. So these are the ingredients here. Now these have Thai monoate, riboflavin, folic acid, niacin is good for you. It also has less than 2% of cornstarch, soybean. It also has paprika. But if you look here, you will see a couple other things that you're not going to see there. You see what I mean? So they also have one that has modified. See? Modified cornstarch. That ain't over here. So you see what I mean? On the box, it says modified cornstarch. Whereas in the ingredients itself, you don't see that, as you can see. You don't see modified cornstarch in the ingredients tab, but on the back of the box, you do. So this is why I say when you go to the grocery store, what you see may not be here. Now I see it here now where it says modified cornstarch, but sometimes you won't see it. Sometimes what you see here, you won't see over here. So remember that. This also tells you what the wrap is basically. So both of them, whether it be the wrap that it's in or the actual inside as far as the filler, has modified cornstarch, which in turn means it's bioengineered, which means you're going to be sick. So that's what I wanted to show y'all. So when you look at your stuff, so let's look up rice for a minute. So I'm going to show you some stuff that may not have anything at all in it. So if you go here, and I'm even going to look up crackers, you'll be amazed how much stuff has modified in it. So I'm going to look at jasmine rice, for example. So we're going to look at jasmine rice. Jasmine rice has nothing in it except jasmine rice. If you look on the ingredients here, is nothing but jasmine rice. You can buy that. Doesn't have anything in it. Doesn't have any chemicals. Nothing. Just jasmine rice. It says gluten-free, non-GMO. So it says, but it does say it features a sweet and enticing aroma while cooking, of course, jasmine. So made without preservative or MSG. So yeah, you can buy this. So if it says whatever it is and there's nothing else, no other crazy stuff that you can't pronounce, no vegetable oil, nothing like that, you can buy it. So for example, let's look at canned vegetables. Let's look at just canned vegetables. This stuff is important that you know about this stuff. So let's look at green beans, for example. So if you look at green beans, let me go down a little bit. All right, if you look at ingredients here, all you see, green beans, water, salt. You can buy that. That's it. So your canned green beans have nothing but green beans, water, and salt. You can buy that. Why? Because it has nothing else in it. Now, if you want the no sodium ones, then get the no sodium ones. But let's say if you want to go to, let's say you want to look up olives, for example. I'm going to show y'all something about olives that's going to shock you. So we're going to look at olives. And I'm going to show you something that's going to shock y'all about olives. This one here in particular. And I'm about to stop buying it. Now, olives, you wouldn't think nothing would be wrong with olives. You would think that I think olives. Well, that's where you're wrong. So when you get the full description and you go, let me see, go down. If you go, you see ripe olives, sea salt, furious glutamate added to stabilize color. We're going to find out what this is. So we're going to take this word here, grab it, and we're going to press Control C. And then we're going to go to, I'm going to find out what exactly this is, and then I'm going to share my screen. So we're going to find out what exactly is this. What is it used for? Now, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go out of Walmart for a minute. And I'm going to share my screen yet again, and I'm going to show y'all about this particular, what it is, what spurious glutamate is. Might be saying it wrong. This is for iron deficiency, aka anemia. So they primarily use it to treat deficiency in anemia due to chronic disease, for general vitamin and mineral supplements. So why would this be in food? So if you keep going and you want to see what it's used for, we can go to medical.net and see what it's used for. But let's see. So basically, this is a medication. So what is it used to treat? You can take it to reduce gastrointestinal side effects. You can also use it to treat iron deficiency. So it does do a little bit. So it also is for dietary supplements and support during pregnancy. But let's see. Also, it's used to produce red blood cells and maintain proper health. Side effects: gastrointestinal discomfort, constipation, temporary straining of the teeth. Serious effects can occur, so it's important to consult healthcare provider before starting treatment. And then also, basically, can be bad for also so it does help with iron deficiency and anemia, but the side effects are gastrointestinal discomfort, constipation, and temporary straining of the teeth. So why is this in our food if not everybody has anemia issues? If not everybody has anemia issues, why is this in olives? So you have to ask yourself, why are these particular things in our food for people that don't even have these issues? So also nausea, diarrhea, constipation, dark colored stool, discoloration of urine, and temporary stains of the teeth. These are the side effects. And this is why you're sick. You're not sick because of the foods that you eat. Matter of fact, you ain't even fat because of the foods that you eat. It's because of the chemicals that are in your food that they use when they manufacture your food is why you sick. And I found this out through food allergies that I never had before. I was never allergic to bananas. Now I am. But then again, I don't know. I might have been always allergic to bananas because I never really ate bananas. That might be why, because I actually was really allergic to them. But why is it that we're allergic to foods that we shouldn't even be allergic to in the first place? So you need to really look at seriously before you go to the grocery store. You really need to look at you really need to look at what it is that you're actually, you know, whatever it is that you're actually eating. You really, before you go to the grocery store, you really need to look at this stuff. So let me share my screen. I'm gonna show y'all something else. One more thing before I go, and we will get more into this. Um, but I just wanted y'all to see this before I go. Let me make sure I'm on the right thing. Okay. So I'm gonna show y'all something else that you need to look for when you go into these things. When you're at the grocery store, you're looking. This is some of the stuff that basically, essentially, is in your food that I cannot pronounce and I ain't gonna try. And this is what the side effects and what they do to you. So these are just some, these ain't all of the chemicals that are in your foods that are causing your food allergies, if you've never had them, cancer, fertility issues, reproductive, hormone, metabolism, cancer risk. So if you want to know why you're getting cancer, here's your answer right here. Mm-hmm. And there's more. And here are some more. Cancer risk, development issues, artificial dyes cause developmental effects. So pretty much this is why 160 countries do not eat our foods and why these things are banned. But yet in America, we continue to use them. So if you go down here, this will tell you everything about all of these different things, why they are dangerous. So these are the things they're using in your food. So these are chemicals. These are the chemicals that are in your foods. And these are the side effects. Can cause hormone disruption, allergic reactions, and there also could be linked to cancer. So if you stop eating this stuff and you stop drinking these things, because I didn't even do juice, I didn't even do vegetables, I just did canned goods. I didn't even do like fruit, canned fruit, applesauce. I could do that next week. We can do that next week. But this is what you need to look at. It also does hormone imbalance when it comes to females' reproduction. So basically, it can interfere with a male or female as far as, your reproductive system. So I don't see why they're using this stuff, and it's not good. So if you see anything that you do not know what it is, and you don't know exactly how, can't pronounce it, then don't even just copy and paste it and then put it here. So if you look at this, let me see if y'all can see this. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. So if you go and you look at chemicals that basically are causing diseases or illnesses or whatever, you can go here and you can look up whatever chemical that it is, and it will tell you what you want to know. All you got to do is just pull it up, and that's it. So this is one of the things that you can look at. So it gives you everything here. So this just gives you food contamination. And you remember I told y'all that when it comes to when I go to the grocery store, is seafood and chicken and beef and fries all put in the same grease? That's why I asked that question, because it's cross contamination. This tells you everything about food preparation and where cross contamination can come from. So, for example, that's why you chop your vegetables up before you chop your meat. It's cross contamination. You put fries in the same thing as any type of meat, or if you put beef and chicken with seafood, you're going to have cross contamination, which in turn means you're going to have an allergy. So this just tells you. Let me see if I can make this make this big. Okay, here we go. Can I make this big? I just want to make it big. No, can't make it big. But these are just like, all of this just tells you about parasites, food, parasites, different stuff. So again, you got to research. You got food contaminants. I don't know why my thing is doing this. Food contaminants. So all of this is very important. So when you are sitting up here and you're going to the grocery store and you're buying groceries, you need to make sure that before you buy them, that you know what's in them. Because if you don't, you're going to end up sick. You're going to end up with cancer. You're not going to be able to explain it. You're going to end up with digestive issues, colon cancer, prostate cancer. All of it is coming from the manufacturing chemicals that they put in your foods to make it last longer. Your best bet would be grow your own vegetables and your own fruit. Your best bet would be to go ahead and just eat. And even with meat, let me go here for a second. Let me go back to Walmart for a second. I need to go back to the wonderful thing is Walmart. We're going to go to chicken for a minute because I'm going to show y'all something that's in chicken that y'all don't even know. So let me go here when it comes to chicken. And this is the one that's not the one. Okay. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to show y'all about chicken and why, you need to pay attention also when you go and you get chicken. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Well, we'll use this one since we have this one is frozen. So again, you're going to go to your view more and go to the full details. You're going to go down to where it says ingredients, and you're going to pull it down, of course. So as you can see here, this is everything that is in this particular chicken. Yeast extract. Why is yeast extract? Then it says modified food starch. So this is what's in this particular product. It has modified starch, cornstarch, or food starch. It has bicarbonate, which we all know is not good. So even though you're looking at this and you're seeing the vast majority of a lot of things in here that may seem like they are good for you, those three things alone will cause cancer and cause other illnesses. So you're looking at the wrong thing when you go to the grocery store. But let me go down to this here. I am looking at some chicken breast, and this is the actual breast from the meat department, not the one in frozen foods. There's a reason I want to look at this in particular. So when you look here, you see just some chicken, and you're thinking, oh, that's all there is to it. There's nothing else to it except that. Well, if you go down, I hate when this thing do this. When you go down, it says full here, and you go down to ingredients. It says boneless chicken breast with rib meat. Why is rib meat and boneless chicken? Also, what you want to look at also when you read this, you want to see if it has any type of chemical, whether it's chlorine, whether what type of chicken that it is, whether it's grass fed, whether or not where it came from, what type of food, because the same thing with your pork. You need to find out if these chickens have been injected, and most of the time it'll say USDA expected. So you really gotta look. So even with this, even with steak, even with chicken, you need to look at, certain things, because that's important. Because you'll be amazed how much chicken is injected with chlorine. How many chickens are injected with God knows what, and you're sitting up here and eating it. That's why if you look at Purdue, when it comes to chicken, they'll say it's non-GMO. They break down everything. They don't play when it comes to their chicken. They don't. They almost had like a lawsuit. So that's Walmart. But let's look at Tyson, for example. If you look at Tyson chicken, I don't care if it's chicken, steak, or beef. You need to do the same thing that I'm looking at now. So it says no additives, hormones, or steroids. That's important. So it says 100% all natural chicken. Now for your steak, it's the same equation here. So like I said, it just tells you your protein for this is 42% in protein. So let's go back down. So you get the full details. So again, you need to pay attention, because sometimes stuff will pass you by and you'll look at chicken and say, hey, chicken sticks. If it don't say anything else, you can buy it. But just make sure that you see that it says what I just said. Because like I said, if you're not careful, you're going to digest something that has chemicals that's going to have you having all kinds of medical issues. So that's why we're having the medical issues that we're having. So we do the same thing with some steak. My friend loves steak, by the way. Steak seems to be his thing. So since, he loves steak, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to look at some steak, whether it be Angus. So this one is Angus. So we're going to look at, type of steak does he like? I don't even know what type of steak he like. But let's look at these flat ribs. I'm just going to do ribs, for example. So the same thing with this. You're going to look at where it says USD choice and USD expected. High quality, tender, and juicy beef. So you're going to look at, all of this stuff. And also something else too that we're going to talk about later on is a lot of these companies will use a chemical that makes meat look like it's fresh, and it's not. And there is a documentary where they talk about this. So you're going to go to view more, full description, and it just says Angus beef. But this meat is different, because meat is not just about that. You got to look at whether or not there are dyes on the meat that makes it seem like that it is fresh and it's not, because it's not something we talk about, but it's something that I'm going to talk about in the next episode. We're going to talk about how do you know whether or not you're getting fresh meat or whether you getting meat that actually is old and they use this stuff to make it seem like it's fresh. So you need to pay attention to that as well. They put stuff on meat too that make it not only look like it lasts longer, but also that type of stuff will make you sick as well. So I just want to come on here and have this conversation because this is stuff as to why you getting illnesses and diseases. You're not getting illnesses and diseases from food because of food itself. You are getting illnesses and diseases because of the fact of the matter of the type of chemicals that are in these particular foods. So this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because I feel like this conversation is very important. So when you go to the grocery store, let's recap. You're going to look online, whatever grocery store you go to, because we can do Publix, we can do Winn-Dixie, we can do them all if you want me to. And I can show you what to look for. But I want to use Walmart, for example, because all these grocery stores are different. I can do Whole Foods. I can do the Fresh Market. I can do what's the other one? Sprout. I can do them all if you want me to. And we can compare the difference. So all of these Whole Foods, we can do that too. I can go to Whole Foods, pull up every single solitary chicken, organic product, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to find something that's going to make you sick. Because even though it says organic, don't mean that it's organic. So next week, we're going to go into organic products and what y'all need to look at when it comes to organic products. Because just because it says organic does not mean that it's actually organic. Because there is stuff in organic foods that still give people allergies and still make people sick. So I just want you to understand that I don't play when it comes to food. So just be mindful of the facts of what you eat, because again, they don't even talk about this. They don't even talk about this stuff at all, as they should, but they don't. They do not talk about it. They talk about the chemicals. They talk about all the issues in our food, but yet it's not being corrected, and people are dying. So you're not dying because of the foods that you're eating. You're not even gaining weight because of the foods you're eating. You're gaining weight because of the fact of the way they manufacture our foods and the dyes and all these chemicals that are banned in 160 countries. And yet we're eating it. We're ingesting it. So that is what's messing with your digestive system. Chemicals. That's why you're having allergies. You're not having allergies to food itself. You're having allergies to the actual chemicals that's in the actual foods from manufacturing companies. And it took me having allergies to understand this. So yeah, that's why this is happening. So yeah, this is exactly why this is happening. And it sucks. And it took years for me to figure it out, but I did. I figured it out. It wasn't easy, I will tell you that much. But that's how we got here. Oh, thank you. So yeah, here we are. And this is as a healing and recovery coach. This is how I got here. Going after a sex cult, ironically. But yeah, that's how I got here. If it wasn't for 2017, no, 2012 when I couldn't walk, 1998 when I had 2 car accidents, not even 8 hours apart. If it wasn't for all of these things happening and going to doctors and doctors saying, oh, it's just in your mind, nothing is wrong. And if it wasn't for me all of a sudden out of nowhere having allergies to all kind of stuff that I never had allergies to before, because I used to be able to eat green peppers. I used to be able to eat coconuts. I used to be able to eat all of these things. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm having allergies. Out of nowhere. Because you remember I told y'all, my homegirl said for years she couldn't eat seafood. Come to find out, she was allergic to obey. So again, it's chemicals. It's not the food itself, it's chemicals. So I just need people to understand that you got to pay attention to what you eat. So if it doesn't say the original ingredients, not only that, for those of y'all that are producing foods, yeah, there's some for those of y'all that are like bakers and those of you that basically essentially are getting your stuff manufactured, you might want to know what's going in your product because there's going to be some lawsuits. Because some of y'all going to be receiving some lawsuits because if people hear this podcast and they see this video and people start looking back and asking about being tested, if you ask to be tested for any chemicals that's in your body, you're going to be amazed how many chemicals going to come up that you never knew about. So even with organic, this is across the board. It's not even or organic is no better because organic has the same issue. Because there are chemicals where both are being manufactured, it don't matter. Both are being manufactured in manufacturing companies. And manufacturers use products to make our food last longer. That's not even in the original product. So these chemicals that they're using is what the issue is. And I'm going to show you next week in organic products. Because even in, let me see something. Let me go to Walmart right quick. Let me find something that's organic. And I'll give you an example just to show y'all next week what I'm going to be showing y'all. Let's see here. I'm just going to use organic snacks. That's what I'm going to use. Let me just use organic snacks, for example. I'm having problems spelling today. I'm just not there. I'm not ready for Monday, to be honest. Okay. Let me share my screen right quick. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about. I have a new computer and I'm still trying to figure this thing out. I have one of those new Chrome computers and I'm not used to it. I'm used to my Mac computer and it's broken. I got to get it looked at. Some reason the screen, you can hear it, but you can't see nothing on it. All right. These are just some organic products. I'm just going to use these for example. So I'm just going to pick the first one. All right. So as you can see, USDA organic, certified vegan, certified gluten-free, certified coastal non-GMO project, certified clean, soy-free, nut-free. Okay. That ain't where the issue is. Look at the manufacturing part at the bottom. So if a person was allergic to tree nuts and allergic to nuts, they wouldn't be able to eat this. So again, even though you're using organic pea protein, even though you're using certain things, that is not the issue here. The issue is the manufacturing. So it's not the ingredients itself. So even though the ingredients in organic foods are not always touched, so you have organic brown rice syrup, sunflower seed butter, protein blend. So don't get me wrong, these are not bad products at all, not even the issue. The issue is I wouldn't be able to eat this because it's processed with tree nuts and with peanuts or sesame. Some people can't eat sesame. So again, it's not the fact that these products are to a point where they're bad. It's just the fact of the chemicals, just like this one here. This is organic one as well. So this is what I'm doing next week. I'm just giving y'all an idea of what next week gonna look like. So as you can see, if you go down, it is you. I mean, it has a lot. But if you go to the ingredients, like I said here, what is gonna make this bad? So even though it has organic stuff in it, look at the active ingredients. That's what's gonna make it bad. So it's the other ingredients in this that's gonna make it bad. The active ingredients that probably are other things that were added after the product was actually made. So yeah. So it's not that, organic foods may not have certain things, but the manufacturing is still going to be the same. So you're still going to have those chemicals in your food. It's just not where it's shown. So they're saying that everything on here is organic. So that is a good thing. But if you look at the inactives, you're going to see some stuff that you probably wouldn't think would be an issue that are. So just understand that, if I had to choose, I would choose organic. But if you're somebody that has a peat allergy and you're allergic to peat, if you're allergic to nuts, tree nuts, sesame, this ain't gonna do you no good. So it may not hit you the way that the regular products would, but that don't mean that it's not gonna hit you in other ways. Chips. So again, I would do the same thing, you know, move down, and I would get the full item description. And like I said, this one is organic potatoes, spinach, tomatoes. So this one would be a pretty good product, um, because it doesn't have it. But again, you just got to be mindful of what you buy. Specifications. So if I go here, it'll tell me specifications. So you got to be very mindful of what you buy. If it's exactly what is in the product, then I would say buy it. So this one would probably be pretty good. So some products are exactly what they are. They have nothing else in them, so you should be good. But again, you need to pay attention. So again, here is what you're looking at. So this one has organic corn flour, potato flakes. So this one would be a good product because it doesn't have anything where it says any chemicals. So again, this is what you're looking for. If it ain't this, don't buy it. So yeah, organic is a better option, is a better choice. But you just got to be careful as far as organic products because some of them are actually what they're supposed to be. Some of them are not. Just depends on what you choose to buy. So all I'm saying to y'all is when you go to the store, you need to look to see, yeah, you got to read yeah, absolutely. The accident didn't cause the allergies. It was cross contamination when you cook your seafood, your chicken, your pork, and beef on the same grill, or the grill's not cleaned properly, or they don't clean the oil like they're supposed to, stuff like that. That's how I got my allergies. So again, when you're looking at the chemicals and foods, you need to make sure some of them will put them on there. Thank you. Now, I want to lose weight for just to feel lighter. Um, it's not that I want to lose weight for a relationship. No, It's more so I just want to feel lighter. Because when you got weight on you, you feel heavy, you feel sluggish, you feel, you know, just heavy. So to have that much weight on you is not a good thing. So to me, I look at it a little bit differently. I don't look at weight as, I don't care if you're a bodybuilder, I don't care if you're just overweight. Weight is weight. So if you're a bodybuilder and you have weight on you, you still feel heavy. So even if you're 6'2" and you're like 400 pounds, you still feel heavy. If you look at all them defensive linemen and you look at all of those different people in football, they heavy. Even though they're muscular, you still feel heavy. You'd be amazed how many people that have muscles and they be like, I just feel so dang on heavy. That's why a lot of people are not trying, they want to build muscle, but they don't want it where they're more or less bodybuilder type of weight. So you still want to look natural and still be muscular and still look good at it. Some people got too much muscle. And then if you got too much muscle, when you start losing weight, you start losing muscle instead of fat. So basically it's just not to feel heavy. And then not only that, internally feeling lighter. So that's why I'm trying to lose weight, because of that. Yeah. So I'm happy within myself. It's just that I want to feel lighter. I want to be able to run without, feeling heavy. I want to be able to walk long distances and not be in pain, if that makes sense. So when you lose a lot of weight, you do eliminate a lot of pain issues. And plus, if you lose weight and then you're exercising, it also helps eliminate a lot of pain with as far as arthritis and stuff like that. So me exercising is to keep movement, and if movement helps me lose weight, then that's great. But when I lose the weight, I don't want to get to a place where I'm too light, but at the same time, I do want to basically feel like I can get up and just dance. I can be flexible without feeling like I'm in pain all the time. That's why I want to lose weight. And that's very different than what most people would say. Most people say, I want to lose weight because I want to fit society's standard of beauty. I want to lose weight because I'm trying to get a man or keep my man. That's not a legitimate reason to. What pictures? What pictures? So yeah, I mean, it's all about, you know, whatever the real reason that you're doing it. If you're doing it because you want to heal or recover, then that should be the reason why you do it. Everything should be for health reasons, for no reason other reason than that. Longevity, you want to live a long period of time. That's why you want to be healthy, because you want to live longer. You want to be able to be here over 100 years. You want to see your grandbabies being born. So, some people, they outlive their children. And like I said, there are a lot of people that lost their lives multiple different ways. So it doesn't necessarily have to be health. People lose their lives in a lot of circumstances, pretty much. But that's pretty much it for me for this week as far as the podcast is concerned. So I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something about these issues as far as health and wellness. Because we got to start with holding these companies accountable with the chemicals and the things that are in our foods that's not put on the actual labels or even described. We need to basically go into a lot of these different additives. So we're going to go into these additives and all these different chemicals to see what is actually making us allergic, what is actually causing cancer. And a lot of this stuff is in a lot of other products that will probably shock you. Some of them are in fertilizer. So, with that being said, I thank y'all for joining me for this episode. I'm your host, Goddess Asha Mariama. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Without y'all, there is no me. I mean, nothing without y'all. Until next time, we will talk later. Bye, y'all.